The system is rigged, plain and simple. Inflation keeps going up, but meanwhile, people's wages aren't changing at all. Along with this, we have young 22, 23-year-old people coming out of college and applying for hundreds, thousands of jobs and never hearing back. This is because the entry-level positions are essentially vanished. And for the people who are working, society pushes this narrative of hustle harder, be more productive, get more things done in a shorter period of time. And this ultimately burns people out. That's why so many people are quiet quitting. That's why so many people are going through mental health issues and really struggling across all fronts of their life. Society pushes this narrative of you need to earn your place in the workforce, and ultimately this keeps people stressed. It keeps their nervous system overburdened with stress, and they're always worrying about money and paying the bills and worried about money even more and more and more, and it never ends. And this goes on for decades until you're in your 60s or maybe even your 70s, and you realize that most of your time on this earth has been spent working to just make enough money to not be on the streets. And as I said, that keeps you in this stressed survival mode. This is the reality for 99% of people in the Western world. We're living in the system that wants to keep you trapped. And for better or for worse, this is just how things are. Now, of course, there are many things beyond your control. However, I do believe that this is something you can change. And I would argue that it has the highest ROI in your entire life. Let me explain. A society of people who are stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and worried is very easy to control. Plain and simple. And this reminds me of the movie called In Time with Justin Timberlake, Cillian Murphy. So in this movie, time is literally your currency. There is no money in the sense that we know of it. It is time. So people age from birth until age 25, and then they stop aging. But then at that point, they have some time ticker on their arm that just keeps going down and down and down. And in order to get more time, you need to work. Because if that clock on your arm hits 0, then you die. And it's pretty scary to think about, right? But you see, most people in the movie are poor, which means they have little time. So they're always living day by day. Or to relate it back to us, it's check by check. And this is where the big parallel comes into play, all right? Because in that movie, there are the elites, the people who are essentially immortal. They live for hundreds of years, thousands of years, because they've just acquired all this time. And that's kind of how things are in today's day and age with our world. While people don't typically live past 85 or 90 years old, but they accumulate all this money. And you can kind of equate it in the same sense of the time within this movie. Anyways, within this movie, in order to earn more time, you need to work more. You need to earn more. But naturally, you need to spend your money to survive. That's just how things are. And when you spend money, you're spending time. So you're literally taking days off your life just to survive to another day. Really crazy. And these people, they're living in constant stress, constant urgency. They literally have no margin for error at all. If they're sick, they can't skip a day at work because then they're just losing days. Crazy, right? Now, I won't go on to spoil the rest of the movie because I highly recommend you go watch it yourself, but I mentioned this to show how it's essentially the same reality that we're living right now. The only difference is that money is the middleman within our lives. So we spend our time to earn. We go to work, we put in 8, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever the case may be. We get money just so we can have enough to buy the things within our life that we have. This is consumerism. So we spend all of our time at work just to earn at the end of the week or at the end of the month or whenever you get paid. And then you feel exhausted. You don't want to do anything more with your life because you've spent your best hours of the day, your best mental energy at work, whether you like your work or not. And so most people go home and simply try to escape their reality with TV, with video games, with scrolling, junk food, etc., etc. You get the point. I've talked about plenty of these things in my other videos as well. All these things are what I like to call a part of the attention economy. The attention economy is essentially something that can only survive because you give your attention to it. If you didn't give your time and attention to these things within the attention economy, these distractors that I mentioned before, then they simply wouldn't survive. And yet, we keep doing it day after day after day. And every day we stay stuck in this cycle of going to work and coming back and distracting ourselves and wasting time, wasting energy, wasting all of our mental resources, that whatever we have left from a long day at work, on simply escaping our realities. But then we wake up the next day and just do it all over again. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And this happens for years. Look, I know I'm generalizing here. I know not everybody does this with their time, but many people do. And perhaps you included. This was me as well in the past. What I've come to realize, though, is that time is one of your most valuable assets. It's probably the most valuable asset that you have, alongside your health, of course. While you might have to keep working a job to pay the bills, even if you hate it, what I'll tell you is this: the bar has never been lower to create a life that is deeply meaningful and fulfilling to you with the spare time that you have. To me, this all starts with auditing your time. What am I spending time on that isn't helping me progress in life? We all waste time. Happens to all of us, but just be honest with yourself. And once you can answer that question, ask yourself this: who's profiting from my wasted time? Whether it's a big corporation or simply the bar up the road that you've been going to a bit too often, you're gonna figure this out. Once you figure this out, you have clarity. And then you answer this next question: what can I do in my newfound time to create leverage within my life so that I can have more time to do what I love and still survive? Think skills, assets, and systems. These three things will help change your life. I know it sounds like I'm being overdramatic, like I'm making this false promise, but nah, it's truly the case. Maybe you can only dedicate 1 to 2 hours every day to building these skills and systems and these assets within your life. Okay, that's fine. But if you spend, we'll say, 1 hour every day for 365 days, then you've done a whole hell of a lot of things with that time. There's this concept an old mentor of mine used to call the aggregation of marginal gains. This is the idea of the compound effect. Sure, things might start slow and you might not see much of an improvement, but as time goes on, all those things you're doing become exponential and your progress becomes very rapid. It might take a year, it might take 3 years, it might take 10 years. But eventually, that 1 hour or those 2 hours you put in every single day towards something that's deeply meaningful and useful for you, that'll change your life. So to tie everything together here, I get it. The system is rigged, things are expensive, and we're living in very strange times, all right? Working for money is something that 99% of people, you and I included, have to do. But rather than being resentful or wishing you were born in a previous era, just embrace it, accept it, and then actively use your time, whatever free time you have, to build those skills and those assets and those systems that'll help you create more time to do the things that you love. Don't let the attention economy negatively influence your life. If you're going to consume content, if you're going to play video games, if you're going to watch TV, okay, but know the consequences and ensure that if there is some sort of content you're consuming, that it's actually beneficial for you. It's broadening your awareness, it's shifting your perspectives, because these are the things that will help you develop the knowledge, which will help you acquire the skills and the assets and build those systems that will change your life. So, thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.